let's talk about some stuff that helps you towards the end of a fast start. But also what we're going to go through is something called the 3-set close. I'm going to teach you how to sell the larger sets. Raise your hand if you've ever been excited to show the ultimate set or signature set, but maybe you just didn't really know how necessarily to do that. Raise your hand if that's the case. All right. Has anybody sold a signature set or ultimate set yet? So this is going to help you actually do that for sure. But I'm going to give you a bonus key because I want to help you drop some larger orders for sure today. So everybody look in the chat here. Dropping it in. Boom. All right. So this is called the Legacy Special. Okay. And if you've ever had somebody interested in selling flatware, this is something that's really cool. Okay. I updated the prices and everything. So here's the Flatware Special. The Flatware Special is they can get that cherry wood chest set, and it's 12 sets of 5-piece stainless steel flatware. Okay. So in your notes, write down flatware. There are a couple things I want you to write down about this. I know there's a huge explanation you can learn from somebody else about this too in more detail. Here are the things you want to say to sell the flatware today. Number one, write down forever shine. It's got a forever shine. If anything ever goes cloudy in the dishwasher, send it back. You can get a brand new one. All right. Number two is it has a forever design. Forever design. So it's the exact same design forever. I'm going to show you some of my pieces of flatware so you can actually check it out. So we're never going to switch up our styles. Now there's other brands in North America, for example, Oneida. That's a really popular flatware brand. Some of your customers will have heard of that one. Basically, what they do is they switch up their style every 1, 2, or 3 years. So if something breaks, can you get a brand new one? No, you've got to buy a whole new what? Set. Okay. So with this, if the fork gets caught in the garbage disposal, Mrs. Jones, you break a couple tines off, send that one back, get one fork replaced. Also, I want you to write down your notes, open stock. Open stock. That's the third thing about flatware that matters. Open stock. What that means is we are the only flatware company in America that does open stock on their items. What that means is you can actually buy one individual fork if you wanted to for like 20 some bucks or whatever it is. Okay. So let's say, you know, at another company, one of your forks gets messed up and you have to buy a new one, or you know how the mix and match set happens with flatware all the time because their kids run off with some, they replace some, that gets lost, whatever, they have to mix and match the sets together. Well, what they can do is they can buy one. So at another company, they would have to buy a whole new 5-piece place setting. For us, they can buy one individual spoon if they want to, if it gets lost or the kids run off with it. Okay. Now, if it breaks, they get it automatically for free. So remember, forever shine. It's never going to go cloudy in the dishwasher, Mrs. Jones. You know how it gets grimy sometimes and it looks gross. Yep. Forever design. We're never going to switch up our styles. And also, it's got that open stock too. So check this out. When they get the set, it's already discounted. I was telling Peyton this yesterday. This is the one item in Cutco that already has a massive discount built in, because if we take that 2112 number, let me show you this. 2112 divided by 12. Oops. One place setting, I can look it up, but I'll just tell you, it's 176. That's how much one place setting is of the 2 spoons, 2 forks, 1 stainless steel table line. So if they just bought those separately, times that out by 12, they'd be paying over $2,100. Well, with this set, not only do they get all 12 sets, but they actually get the cherrywood chest to put it in. It looks beautiful. It's probably, in my opinion, it's the most beautiful thing Cutco makes. They already have a savings of about 25% built in to the set. Isn't that cool? So if they want to try it out, they get $342. They can put that down to the 5-pay. We call that the easy pay, right? And then they can get a bunch of stuff for free. So who has sold a studio set recently? Anybody sold a studio set or a space saver or an all knife or a kitchenette? Peyton sold a studio yesterday. All right, check this out. If they're looking at the basic studio, you could upgrade them to a flatware set by saying this. hey, Mrs. Jones, you can get that studio set. Hey, let me just tell you about our flatware a little bit. If you wanted, what if I could tell you could actually get that starter set for free? Would you be interested in that? Okay, let's say you like your flatware or like our flatware, you could get that set for free. And then you, of course, go into the spiel about the flatware. So we can give them one of the starter sets for free if they get that, or they can get a $350 Cutco shopping spree as well. Kind of cool, right? So there you go. That's the Flatware Special. Use that today. Give that a shot. That's one of those things where you can show your parents, your grandma, your aunt, the customer that bought the most from you, send them that, a screenshot, and just be like, hey, would you be interested in getting $350 of free Cutco? Because that's essentially what that would be, okay? All right, we're gonna talk about the 3-set close next. That's the next thing on the agenda here. So the 3-set close is being able to show the ultimate set and the signature set, okay? Ultimate and signature. All right, now the first thing I want you to understand about the larger sets when we talk about those 2 sets is you don't want to refer to them as larger sets. It's just option 1, 2, or 3. So for example, let's say you're going to Apple and you're going to get a new MacBook. All right, do they show you the options and they say, you know, holy crap, 17 inches for a MacBook Pro. Why would I need a screen that big? It's way too big. No, it's just like, hey, look, we've got this one that's the MacBook Air. We've got the regular MacBook. We've got the MacBook Pro. You know, which of these options do you feel like you'd do? And if they say it's $2,000 for this one, you're not like, wow, I would never do that. It's like, oh, that's just not the right option for me. So they just talk about these are the different options, which one works best for you. That's how you want to refer to the larger sets. It can't be like the hugest set ever. That's why we refer to them, and I want you to write this down in your notes, the 3 sets, ultimate, signature, homemaker. I want you to change those names, or at least talk about them in this way: complete set, family set, and basic set. Complete set, family set, and basic set. Okay. So when we talk about them that way, when we say ultimate set, that seems way too big. Nobody ever buys it, which we do sell a good amount of those. So who buys those sets? The people who buy those sets are the people who, there's a couple different people. They love to have the best of everything. Who knows somebody like that? They love to have the best of everything. They got to one up their neighbor. Who knows somebody who loves to cook? All of you know people like that. Who knows somebody who loves to entertain? They're always having the people over. Maybe it was that sports friend who had their parents always had the people over for the spaghetti feed or whatever. Another thing is somebody who, somebody who really supports you. So if it's like a family member or whoever, right? They're thinking, you know what? Because they're not going to buy just because they know you, but they might be swayed to buy a larger set simply because they're like, well, I'm going to buy all this stuff anyway at some point. Kind of just makes sense to buy it from Rihanna because she's awesome and she's going for a big goal. Might as well take care of it all today, since we'll probably upgrade to that anyway at some point. And another one is they really love free stuff and they love Cutco and they just are tempted by amazing deals. And that's really what we do with these sets. The other thing I want you to write down is the purpose of showing the larger sets isn't always to sell one of the larger sets. What do you think it's the purpose of? To sell more what? Homemakers. And how small does the galley look if you just showed them that whole thing, that's that ultimate set that's got every piece on it, and the price is way lower too. So what I want to do is I want to drop this in the chat for you with a 3-set close. All right. Set close. All right. So when this pops up, we're going to take a look at this here. Boom. I'm also going to do a screen share of this as well, and we're going to walk through it. And I'm actually going to screen share my desktop so you can actually see this in action too. So give me one sec here. There we go. And We'll get there. It's my first time screen sharing. Just kidding. All right, so check that out. So let's load it up, Nick. We got this. Here we go. Okay. I just want to make sure you can see the demo too. Here we go. All right. Screen share, desktop 1. All right. Give me a thumbs up if you can see the demo, and you can also see the 3-set close. Are those both up right now? All right. So this slide should look familiar to all of you, right? Because that's the Wustaf slide. And then let me show you what the 3-set close looks like here. So I'm going to zoom in, and you can get this from your manager if you're watching this recording. Okay, so here's what it sounds like. Hey, at twice the price, you're talking over $4,000 for a set of Cutco. You nod your head. All right, move on to the next slide. Okay, so before you click, you're going to read this part here. So Mrs. Jones, we have 3 types of sets. We have large sets for people who love to cook. We have medium sets for people who cook a couple times a week, and smaller sets for people who barely cook at all and just have to eat. All right, so let me show you our complete set here. And it says skip to slide 28. Okay, this is our complete set. It has all the specialty knives in it. This is for people who love to cook. You're gonna click backwards. This is our signature set, AKA the family set. And it's the in-between set, which is the 4 extra pieces. The Hardy Slicer, the Petite Santoku, and if you even want to do your little laser pointer thing, you can do that, turn on laser pointer. We got the Hardy Slicer right here. We've got the Petite Santoku. We've got the cheese knife. The super shear is right over here. And it also comes with 10 steak knives too. Or table knives, right? I always emphasize the steak knives. All right, and then we're gonna click back 2 times, boom, boom. Okay, so as I said earlier, our Homemaker Plus 8 is our most popular set. That paragraph should be looking pretty familiar because that's the exact same as the manual. The only difference is showing them the 2 extra sets. I don't even care if you did something like this. All right, let me show you. We have multiple sets. All right, here's our complete set. It's got everything. Here's our signature set. It's got more stuff too. Here's our Homemaker. As long as they see those other sets, that's the purpose of this. But again, we gave you, I typed this script out so that way you can just follow along. So now we're on the Homemaker. All right, as I said earlier, our Homemaker Plus 8 is our most popular set. It's perfect for families that cook 2 to 3 times a week. It has the 10 basic tools I explained earlier, 8 table knives, the wood block, and a sharpener for straight edges. We also have a Homemaker set without the table knives. So here's a different question. This is a buying question that we talk about in training. If you were considering a set of Cutco, which of these 3 sets has the tools you like the best and would use the most? Are you thinking probably the Homemaker, the signature, or the complete? And I do it just like this. I'm just clicking silently, stopping on one, letting them say it. The signature set, Nick. Okay, great. By the way, if you do this properly, they're usually going to pick the signature set. And the reason why is because most people consider themselves a type of family, whether it's a family of, we always buy the best of the best, we buy the middle of the road stuff, or we try not to buy the biggest stuff and we try to save as much money as possible. Well, guess what? Each of those things fits into one of these categories. So if they're thinking, we're more of like a middle of the road family, plus most people just want to test the waters to see what the price is too. So let's pretend they picked the signature set. Awesome. And then look, it's all filled in right here for you. Awesome. Well, the great thing is about that set, it doesn't cost $4,000. It doesn't even cost as much as Wustaf's price of $3,435. The signature set is only $2,413 paid in full, which includes shipping. But most of our customers take advantage of the 5-month interest-free investment option, which is only $524 today. It includes tax. All right, so let me explain our buy now bonus. Does this look familiar to everybody? You click backwards to that. Now let me explain our buy now bonus. We have a bonus where if you buy now, I can give you a matching kitchen tool set or an entertainer pack. Or I know that you guys like to hunt and fish. I could throw one of those things on there. I haven't even showed you those yet, but we do have hunting and fishing knives. Or I can get you up to $450 of free stuff. So Rihanna, if you were considering this set of Cutco, what free stuff would you choose? And let's say she picks, oh, that entertainer pack is pretty cool. And I think it'd be cool to get a hunting knife for my husband, right? Okay, cool. So now we got a couple items picked out, and you can keep suggesting things until they get to about 450. If they're really on the edge, try to maximize it up. Okay, and then we ask for the order. Okay, so Mrs. Jones, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you. Would you like to try it out for a couple of weeks, risk-free, and get that free entertainer pack and hunting knife? Awesome. You're gonna love it. Congrats. And there you go. That's the 3-set close. Pretty simple. So what this allows you to do is set the price expectation of $3,200, $2,400, because now watch what we do when we drop down to the homemaker. Oh, you know, Peyton, I just don't think so. I think it's a little bit too much, or it's too many pieces. I don't think I would do that right now. No, thank you. Okay. Well, hey, no problem. We're going to go to slide. We're going to keep it on slide 26 here. Hey, that's okay. I understand. That's one of our larger sets anyway. Let me just show you our Homemaker +8 set again. So we were showing you this one here. This is the Homemaker +8. It's got all the tools, but I like to show this because it shows the set. Does everybody get that? So this is the set, and then we've got the free stuff right next to it. So the Homemaker +8, it's our most basic set and most popular. Actually, instead of it being 3,435 like Wusthof, that set is only $1,419 or $309 on a 5-pay. And you can actually get the entertainer pack or those super shears for free. Does that sound a little bit better? So she chose the entertainer pack. So I would say, hey, you can actually get that entertainer pack for free still. Does that sound a little better? Okay, cool. Is that something you want to get today? Yes? Congrats, you're gonna love it. Does everybody see how there's a soft close in there? What I call a soft, what I mean by soft close is does that sound a little better? Isn't that pretty low key? Where it's like, hey, look, I know that one was a little bit too much. How do you feel about this one? Does that sound a little bit better to you? Yeah? Okay, cool. Is that something you want to get today then? Nice, congrats. I'm okay with throwing that in for the galley too. It's like, hey, I know you really loved Cutco. It sounds like you use it a lot. How do you feel about this one? Do you feel like this one fits your cooking needs better? That's a soft close. Hey, do you feel like this is the one that you'd get the most value out of? Yeah? Okay, great. Is that something you want to get today then? Cool. Remember, from Champions Club #1, we talked about just asking for the order like you'd ask, hey, what time it is? Right? Hey, do you know what time it is? Hey, do you want to go and get that today? Cool. No? All right, no worries. Let me show you the next thing. And if they're still unsure, hey, that's kind of understand. If you don't mind me asking, what is it about the homemaker you're unsure of? And then of course, you just do the knee-jerk reaction. Everything is the same. Okay, so what does this page do? Well, what it does is it allows you to start higher and end higher. Because in advanced training, we talk about how the average person has to say no multiple times before they say yes. They've done studies on it, right? It's usually 5 to 7 times before they say yes. The manual does this perfectly for you. So when Eli is asking for the order, for example, it's if you just do the basic presentation, no to the homemaker, no to the galley, no to the starter sets, no to the pick 5, no to the buy 3, get 1 free, let's say, and then last one is buy 1 or 2 pieces, and they say yes to that. I'm going to help you increase your average order by a couple $100 by just adding this page into your manual, because now it's no to the signature set, no to the homemaker, no to the galley, no to the starter, no to the pick 5. Now you got to buy 3, get 1 free, but probably higher than that because they've said no to a couple of larger options. Does everybody follow that? So the goal is to start higher and end higher. The goal is to not always sell a signature set or ultimate set. It's to make the price expectation be better for the smaller options. Okay. Now, also, would you agree to that sometimes you'll sell a signature set or ultimate set just because you showed this? So if I was a rep right now, I would actually not sell a lot of homemaker +8s. I'm just being transparent with you. I would not sell a lot of homemakers. What I would, and I actually would not sell a lot of complete sets either. I wouldn't sell a lot of ultimates. I would sell a lot of signature sets. And the reason why, and this is the next tip we're going to go into, and this is what we're going to finish with, is I would build value in the 3 extra pieces in the signature set. And I'm about to teach you how to do that. Hey, did I forget to show you the flatware? I have these in front of me. This is just reminding me. So here's the flatware. We got the spoon, fork, and stainless steel table knife. Eli knows this because he's been around for a long time. But when you sell a set, I want you to write this question down in your notes. Write down, would you prefer the set with stainless or regular table knives? Stainless or regular table knives? Does anybody know what the chrome maker is? The chrome maker. Here's what the chrome maker is. It's the Homemaker Plus 8 with all chrome steak knives or table knives in the block. 8 chrome table knives. The chrome maker. All right. So you know how to write that up. It's the same exact thing we do with the friends and family discount from advanced training. It's getting the block with the missing slots for table knives, and then you just add these on there. You can tell them it's expensive, but I want you to write this phrase down. Write down premium option. This is the premium option. So Mrs. Jones, if you like to entertain and everything, I'm just going to suggest you the premium option. You can get the stainless steel table knives instead of the regular ones. All right. All right, let's learn about these pieces and then we're gonna be done. So, by the way, remember here how it says it comes with the extra pieces: hearty slicer, petite santoku, cheese knife, super shears, steak knives. All right, I'm about to teach you how to sell these other ones. Write down hearty slicer. Okay, thing about this one I want you to write down is this is the bad boy in the kitchen. Write down bad boy. Everybody likes a bad boy, Mrs. Jones, right? She looks at her husband, laughs, and says, "Ha ha, it's not you." All right, let me tell you what this thing is good for. Write down squash next to this one. Butternut squash. This is also good for barbecue. So if you have a family who barbecues, or if you know somebody who does, this is the racks of ribs meat knife. So it's good for squash, racks of ribs, bones and scales of fish, blocks of cheese. Anything you need a hefty, heavy-duty knife for, this is going to be the one. I want you to write down next to this one. This is basically the butcher knife, but with a double D edge. Butcher knife, but with a double D edge. That's what this one is. So do you see how thick that blade is right there? So that's a really thick tang, a really thick blade. It's not going to break or bust when you're trying to cut stuff up. You're not going to use a chef knife to cut up a butternut squash. If you ever try to do that, it's literally impossible unless you have a Cutco knife. It just grinds right through the rind. Okay. There you go. So that's the hearty slicer, the bad boy in the kitchen. Everybody needs a bad boy. That's why you want to emphasize that one. The next thing I would write down is petite santoku. I call this the baby santoku. It's cute, isn't it, Mrs. Jones? Is the baby santoku. All right. Next, this one, write down Rachel Ray knife. Rachel Ray. Who's ever heard of the Rachel Ray show before? She recommends, so she's a chef on TV. She actually uses, I've seen her use Cutco on her show. But now she has like this, her own line of Rachel Ray knives. It's like considered lower quality, but she wants to make money, obviously. So with the Santoku, this is good for chopping, dicing, and mincing. I'm going to give you some background. You don't need to say all this stuff, but Santoku is actually Japanese for 3-in-1. Santoku means the 3 virtues. That's what it stands for. All right. 3-in-1 knife. That's what it means. It's got the tip for dragging across. It's got the back for chopping, and then it's got the middle for dicing and mincing. You don't need to remember all this stuff. You can watch the recording later. That's okay. But that's what it means. The Santoku knife is the 3-in-1 knife. So it's good for chopping, dicing, mincing, and also dragging it across the cutting board. So this can be used not for vegetables only, but for some meats as well. Okay. And then the last one is the cheese knife. Write down. I call this one the sexy knife. Here's why I call it the sexy knife. It's the sharpest knife in the history of the universe. It has a micro double D edge on it. I know you guys call it the holy knife, but just look at this, check this thing out. So if I show you the edges up close, look at this. So you can see, do you see how it's just got a more compacted edge on it? It's basically the double D edge, but pressed down and squeezed. So it's the finest, sharpest knife in the entire world. Okay, there's holes in the blade, so the cheese isn't going to stick to it. Don't worry. All right, it's got a cheese spreader on the tip, so you can actually spread soft cheese or cream cheese easier at the table. I've heard this is a good bottle opener. You need to grab a quick bottle opener, Mr. Jones. All right, write down next to this one, dense, sticky, or starchy. The cheese knife is good for anything dense, sticky, or starchy. Not just for cheese, even though cheese is super dense, it's good for potatoes and also apples. So the cool thing about the cheese knife, pretend this is a cutting board. If you see how the blade starts right at the rounded tip there. So watch what I can do here on the cutting board. Check this out. It starts right there. You can just take this and do this and drag it across the cutting board. You can make super quick slices, fine slices, because it's rounded, so it's not going to dull the tip or anything like that. That's what it's meant for. Okay. All right. Those are the 3 extra pieces. Now, what I want to just emphasize, why did I tell you all those things? Well, the signature set came out in 2012. I was running a branch office when this thing came out. I could have said this earlier, but I'll just tell you the background super quick. The reason why they came out with that is because they did a poll of all Cutco customers previous, and they said, if there was a set between the homemaker set and the ultimate set, what extra pieces would you want? And they voted on it, and the 3 pieces that everybody wanted was the hearty slicer, the petite santoku, and the cheese knife. Okay. So Mrs. Jones, you can write this down. The signature set has Cutco's most requested pieces. That's why we call it the family set, because it's got a couple extra table knives if you have a family, because they're always in the dishwasher. And not to mention, it's requested by so many Cutco families. And since we have quickly 1 extra minute, here's the steak knife. All right, I call the steak knife the table knife on steroids. That's what it is. It's a table knife on steroids. It's got the full tang on there. It's got the rivets. It's for entertaining, okay? It's basically a trimmer with just the rounded tips. You're not gonna stab yourself when you're cutting your steak. If you want a more traditional feel, if you're entertaining a lot, this is gonna be the one for you. You can kind of see the size difference there. It's definitely larger. So again, this is another premium option. Mrs. Jones, we have a premium option for the homemaker. It'd be the chrome table knives. The premium option for the ultimate set and signature set is the steak knives, table knives on steroids. You're gonna use them all the time. You're gonna love these things. They just feel better in your hand. It's a traditional steak knife. Cutco came out with those in 2012 as well. So 2012 was kind of a cool year for my branch office, because we were getting all these new products. So, all right, there we go. We've got the 3 set close. I want you to practice that. I want you to utilize this. This replaces page 9 in your manual. So what we used to do when we were in person is I would staple that to page 9, and we would just fold it where you could fold it for the knee-jerk reactions. Does everybody follow that? You still want that, right? You want to be able to read the knee-jerk reactions. Look, try this if you're comfortable. Your first one, you're going to butcher it. Knife pun intended. It might not be pretty for the first one, but could this be something you practice before your next demo and just practice clicking to make sure you know all the clicks? Do it once and you're going to understand how to do it. Remember, it's not always about selling those larger sets, although that accidentally will happen sometimes. And I'll tell you right now, if you start to memorize these items, you're going to sell more signature sets. The purpose, though, is to be able to build more value in the larger sets.